Hi guys. Hi, just let me know in the chat if you can hear me. Let me know in the chat if you can hear me or talk to me. Just tell me something before we start so that we can know whether to start. Just let me know. You can just say something, and then I will know if everything is okay. Can you guys hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Hey guys. Thank you, Bill Kamau. Thank you, Moses Karaoke. Thank you that you can hear me well. We're just about to start. Awesome, guys. Awesome. Thank you for the feedback. Thank you for the feedback. Thank you, Chronicles of Asali. Thank you so much. Thank you for the feedback. So we're just about to start. Just about to start. How is the video quality? How is the video quality? Great, guys. So I want us to start. And I want us to pray first before we start and just dedicate this session to God. So you can join me in a prayer, a word of prayer just for us to pray, and then we will begin. So let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for this day. Thank you, God, for this session that, God, you've granted us, God. And Father, we pray that, God, as we start, oh God, we pray that, God, you may start with us, oh God. May you give me clarity of mind and of thought, oh God. Help me, God, to articulate issues well. And Father, God in heaven, you will be glorified and exalted, God. Help the other guys who are joining in to come on board and help us to have a wonderful time together, God, all for the glory of your name, God. May we learn, may we grow, may we sharpen each other, God, like iron. May we be better, all for your name and for your glory. We thank you and we exalt you. In Jesus' name we believe and pray. Amen. Okay, guys, so I'll just dive into it and then we can start. So guys, today, basically we're having a short presentation. It's not too long. And it's about the life of Jesus and something that I really believe in, that we can learn and grow. Basically business lessons from the life and the ministry of Jesus Christ. Yeah, so a bit about me is that I'm a Christian first. That's what I believe in, that I'm born again and I love the Lord as my personal savior. Next, I'm also a husband. I'm a husband to one wife. Her name is Gadoni, and you can see her there. And I thank the Lord for her, and she sends her salams over. So hopefully in the next live, she'll be able to come on board and join us. We are also blessed also with 3 children. So our firstborn is called Imani, and then Tendai, and then Taji. So we have 1 daughter and 2 sons, and we thank God for them. And what I do, I'm a wedding photographer, so that's what I specialize in. So I photograph weddings. Also, me, my wife, and a business partner, we run a small business. It's a photography studio. It's called Sun Africa Studios. And other than that, we have a passion to impart, to help people, to basically make the world a better place. So basically, in a nutshell, that's all about me, and also all about my wife. And so today we are going to cover about what I believe is a secret sauce. Let me say my secret sauce to business. And that's what I'm going to cover today. And I pray that you guys will be blessed and that you will get to learn a thing or two. But yeah, so guys, I hope everything is okay. I hope you can hear me. I hope everything is fine. Yeah, I'm just confirming. Everything is fine. Can you guys be able to hear me? I don't know if everything is fine. Can you be able to hear me from where you are? Yeah, is it clear enough? Is it clear enough? I don't know. Let me just confirm. Just give me a minute. So guys, are we on board? Is everything okay? Before I proceed? Sorry, this live things, yeah. These live things, yeah. Yeah, so good. So I'm getting feedback, at least most of you can hear me, and I'm glad about that. And so we will dive straight into my secret sauce for success. So this is basically what drives me, what keeps me going, what wakes me up every morning, and that is what I want to share with you guys. That it's my secret sauce for success. Yes. So this secret sauce is from the Bible, and if you guys can guess the verse before I finish, then you guys are good in Bible. Yeah. So my secret sauce is this. So the word of the Lord says that keep this book of the law on your lips. On your lips, meditate on it day and night, so that you may be careful to do everything written on it. I've underlined to do because to do is what makes the difference between those who succeed and those who do not. So meditate on it day and night, so that you may be careful to do everything written in it. And then you will be prosperous. You will be prosperous and successful wherever you will go. Amen. So that verse is from Joshua 1:8. Joshua 1:8. Joshua 1:8. Yeah. Just hold on a bit. Joshua 1:8. So that's from Joshua 1:8. And that's my secret sauce for success. Yes. So today, in a nutshell, we're going to cover the business secrets from the life of Jesus Christ. That's what we're going to cover today. And in the next few minutes, and I believe this will change your lives. Basically, there are things that I have learned about business from the life of Jesus. And these are things that I have learned through observation, through reading about the word, reading about his life, reading about the way he lived, and the way he carried on his ministry. And there are very many lessons that you can learn. There are very many. I've just summarized a very few, but there are quite a number. And I believe over the next few weeks or months, we'll be able to go deeper and unravel a lot of secrets, a lot of principles from the life and the ministry of Jesus Christ. Yes. And so the first lesson that you can pick from Jesus Christ is the first thing that for me stood out for me very, very, very much was his service to others. And Jesus Christ was very big on service. And he said that he came to serve. And so for me, one of the lessons that I picked from Jesus Christ is service to others. And I'll expound as we move on. So as we start, what is the first question that you ask yourself before you get into any business? What is the first thing you ask yourself? What's the first thing you ask before you venture into any business? And a lot of people come and ask me, Ben, which business can I venture in? How can I know what business is right for me? And so the first thing that people normally ask themselves is, how much money can I make from it? How much money is there in it for me? How much money can I be able to make from this business? Which is a good question, but it's a bad first question. Asking that question for the very first time is bad, and I will tell you guys why. And so the first question you should ask yourself if you want to get into any venture whatsoever is this: does it serve others? Does it add value to others? Does it serve others? And does it add value to others? And if the answer to these questions is yes, get into that business. It doesn't matter how many people in that business. If you can answer that it serves, and number two, it adds values to others, get into it. And if you can answer these questions as the very first questions you ask yourself before you get into business, I guarantee you, your rate of failure will go lower and lower and lower. Yes, will go lower and lower and lower. So just give me a minute. Hello. Forgive me, guys, I had to attend to a small emergency. Yes, that is life for you. Yes, so let's take it on from there. So if your answer to both these questions is yes, start with the business. Next, this is what Jesus said about service. And one of the verses that I love very, very much. And this verse, these couple of verses, I'd like you, if you can go later on, get your Bible, underline these verses. If you have a paper or a notebook, write these things down. Mark 10, 42 to 45. And it says this: so Jesus called them together and said, you know that the rulers in this world lord it over their people, and the officials flaunt their authority over those under them. Yes? But among you, it will be different. Whoever wants to be a leader, mark this, whoever wants to be a leader amongst you must be your servant. And whoever wants to be first among you must be the slave of everyone else. Remember this: whoever wants to be a leader must be your servant. And whoever wants to be first among you must be the slave of everybody else. Imagine how controversial that is. That if you want to be the first, you have to be the slave of everybody else. For the Son of Man came not to be served. Listen to this. For the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve others, and to give his life as a ransom for many. And Jesus here just deconstructed the whole game plan of how the thing used to be. At that time, very many people who were in authority or the leaders of the day were all people who used to be served by others. There are people who used to lord over the people who were under them. People in authority were the ones who used to be always first, always honored, always given the choice seats in functions and events. And Jesus here says that if you want to be a leader, you must be a servant to everyone. And if you want to be fast, which all of us want to be fast, then you must be a slave to everyone. And that is a secret that not very, very many people get. Very many people out there of the thinking or of the idea that for me, I want to get into business so that now I can have people to serve me, so that now I can have people to open my car door, so that I can have people to send for errands, so that I can be sitting back left of a car, so that I can be the first, I can be a leader of many. But Jesus Christ says that if you want to be fast, then become a leader. It is a key, it is a principle, it is a secret that you can learn. That if you want to be fast, then be a leader. If you want to be a leader, then be last and be a slave to everyone. And let me tell you guys, leaders don't lead by fear or by people you're paying them a salary. The best leaders in the world are those who lead by influence, those who influence people. Think about the Martin Luther Kings. Think about the Mahatma Gandhis. Think about Che Guevara. Think about all the people who people just followed them because of their influence, of their ideals. That's what Jesus Christ was trying to tell us, that if you want to be fast in this world, then serve. Be a servant. Being a servant is not a degrading to yourself, is to be fast. Let me tell you guys a story before we move on. I had this story from a business coach called Vusi Tembekwayo. He's a South African. And he gave a story that one day he had gone to visit one of his friends who was running a franchise chain stores that were doing fast food, let's say like KFC, but in South Africa. And so this owner was a humble guy. And so one day when Vusi was going to buy through a drive-through, he was going to buy fries. He sees this guy picking up papers outside one of his shops. So this guy wonders, is he the one? Is he the one? So he stops his car, he gets out. When he comes to it, he realizes this guy is the owner. And at that time, Vusi said he had over 100 franchises under his name. And this guy was picking papers. And so Vusi was impressed. He was like, why are you doing this? He's like, doing what? He's like, picking papers. Like, yeah, I'm picking papers. He's like, why are you doing it? Why don't you order someone else to do it? He's like, you know what? When customers come, they drive by through here, they won't care who picked the papers as long as the papers were picked. And that guy, even though he's late now, he gave the best model, just like Jesus Christ, that for people who want to be fast, then they must be last. They must be a servant to all. So for all of you guys who are watching, you can just learn that secret from Jesus Christ, that you guys be servant leaders. Change the game. Be someone who picks up papers in your shop, even when you have 100 branches. Be that guy. Be that guy who doesn't have an ego or who is not too full of himself. Be that guy who can be able to serve. And let me tell you something, you will lead by influence. Yeah, let's move on, guys. So, interestingly, I discovered this, which are the top 3 reasons why Kenyans start business. Top 3 reasons, yeah? I found number 1, most of the Kenyans, especially people who are doing small business, like all of us here, people begin small business or people begin business just to survive, just to make ends meet. We are living through a pandemic, and very many people now are wanting to get into business because they have lost their source of livelihood. Very many people are looking just to survive, just to make ends meet. And interesting thing is, like, it's 90%, such a big number, that 9 out of every 10 businesses that start, they start just to be able to make ends meet. They want to meet their basic needs, 90%, okay? Moving on, the other 9% is to save. To save basically means to expand your lifestyle. You know, I want a bigger house. I already have my basic needs. I already have a house, but I want a bigger house. I want a house in a more posh neighborhood. I want my kids to go to a more higher end school. I want to have
a yacht in Dubai. I want to travel the world. All these people, they do things in order to expand their lifestyle for luxury. I want to drive a Range Rover. I want to join a golf club, a country club. I want to improve my lifestyle. 9% of all business in Kenya that start is for the purpose of expanding your lifestyle. So guys, in a nutshell, let me say this. 99% of people who begin businesses in Kenya, 99%, they begin businesses in Kenya for their own selfish reasons, for their own reasons, just for themselves. 99%. That is 9.9 out of every 10 businesses begin businesses for their own selves. Okay. Now let's go to the 1%, to the 1 out of every 100 businesses, to the 1%, to the creme de la creme of businesses. 1% of people begin their businesses in order to make a contribution to the world, in order to serve. 1%. Just imagine that. 1 out of every 100 businesses begin the businesses for the purpose of service, for the purpose of serving a need that is bigger than themselves. And the interesting thing is this. If you can look at all the big businesses in the world, think about WhatsApp, think about Facebook, think about Google, think about Elon Musk with Tesla, think about Amazon. All these businesses were made to contribute to the world, to make life better for everyone. Think about when Bill Gates and his partner was Steve Wozniak, can't pronounce his name very well, began Microsoft. The purpose was they wanted to put a computer, a desktop computer in every home. Just imagine that. Just imagine having that kind of mission. I want to put a computer in every home. When Henry Ford began Ford, cars then were just for the elite, just for the rich, for the people who could afford. But Henry Ford said, I want to democratize the motor vehicle. I want to make sure that everybody in the world can be able to afford a motor vehicle. These guys were the 1%, or the guys who began business for the purpose of service to the world, of service to others, to make a contribution. And guys, I want to push you guys to think about that 1%, to think about a mission that is bigger than yourself, to live for something that is so big that it will wake you up in the middle of the night with cold sweats. I want you guys to give yourself a mission that is so big that will take over your life.
Hi, guys. Hey guys, can you be able to hear me? Sorry, I went a bit offline. Hi guys. My apologies. My apologies, my apologies. My apologies. Good, guys. I think we can continue. Sorry, my... Can you guys hear me? Am I visible? Am I audible again? Can you hear me? I'm back online. Sorry, my Zoom crashed. Yeah, my Zoom crashed. I don't know why it did. I don't know why it crashed, but I'm trying to figure it out. So hopefully don't do it again. Yeah, I'm just learning this thing. So yeah, just hold on a bit. Let me just try and correct something. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. Hopefully to be till we finish. Yeah. Yeah, guys. So let's move on now. I think you guys have already figured that out. So I've told you guys about the 3 reasons why Kenyans start a business, and I've told you guys to focus on becoming the 1%. Yeah. So next, let's move to the 3 types of businesses in Kenya. 3 types of businesses in Kenya. Yeah. So number 1 is a bad business. A bad business. So a bad business is a business that gives. So what happens? A business is something that delivers value to its customers. That I will call a business. So I will not call a gambling company a business. I will not call a company that doesn't deliver value. So anything that delivers value to its customers, for me, I consider it a business. So a bad business would be a company that delivers equal value as what it charges. So the value is equal or less than the money. So, and the interesting thing is that most of the businesses they fall within this category, what I call a bad business, something that delivers equal value to the price that it charges. So value is equal or less than. That's a bad business. Good. Let's move on now a bit higher to a good business. So a good business is the one that gives a bit more value as compared to what it charges. You understand? A bit more value as compared to what it charges. Let me give you an example, like, for example, Bonfire. So Bonfire Adventures, if you want to go to, I think their pre-COVID rates were, you could go to Dubai for 4 days with 50,000. And they give you air tickets, airport transfers, 4-star hotel, all-inclusive meals, desert safari, all those things they give you for 50,000. And so that you can say that they were giving more value than money, because if you take yourself to Dubai, pay the tickets, get the airport transfers, stay in a 4-star hotel for 4 nights, definitely it will cost you more than 50,000. So Bonfire is an example of a good business, which are not very, very few. As in, the higher you go, the fewer they become. So that gives a bit more value as compared to the money that they charge. Now, when we go to the highest category, the highest echelon, is a great business. Not just good, a great business. So a great business is a business that delivers more value than any amount that you can pay for. You understand? That gives you much more value than any amount that you can pay for. I don't know if any business can come to mind that you can think about that is a great business. For example, Google. Google is a great business because how much will you charge? How much will you pay for Gmail?
On top of that, how much will you pay to use Google Maps? Yeah, nowadays Google Maps has become like the default until you wonder, how are we surviving before Google Maps? Google gives you a search engine. Google is just, well, they give you so much value that you will not know how much you will pay them for. Another example is Facebook or Instagram or WhatsApp. How much will you pay to use those services? Then just imagine how much convenient WhatsApp is, that you can communicate to so many people easily just by a touch of a button. It's absolutely free. Or Facebook, where you can connect with people from all over the world, or Instagram, where you can be able to share pictures and it makes you feel as if you're that person. How much will you pay for this? And these businesses are absolutely free. These are great businesses that are built that give you so much value that you will wonder how much money you pay for them. Why I gave you these two types of businesses is because I want you guys to begin thinking about value, because businesses is about delivery of value. So when you think about value, when you think about a business, think about giving your customers value. Think about giving your customers so much value that they will not have a price to pay for it. And this is the thing about business. If you want to build a great business, not just a business, but a great business, think about serving your customers and giving them so much value that they will not care how much you charge. They'll be like, by the way, it doesn't matter, by the way, you've given me so much value. They will not matter how much you charge because you've given them so much. But that's a great business. Let me give you guys a secret to stratospheric success. This is success that is, the stratosphere, it's above the atmosphere. It's almost closer to space. That's the kind of success that I'm praying for you guys, that you guys are going to get meaningful success, not just to be able to buy a good car, own a Bentley, or live in that neighborhood that you've always wanted, or go for holidays in Malibu, or Dubai, or travel the world. But I want success that is meaningful, that is impactful, that you'll be able to make a difference. And so the secret to stratospheric success is a very simple secret, is this, that your true worth as a business owner is determined by how much more, underline the word more, how much more in value you give as compared to the payment that you take. Do you understand? So your value is determined by your value is determined by how much more you give, how much you serve as compared to the kind of payment you take. So when I was beginning photography, I was so passionate about giving service. I remember that when a client used to hire me for a job, I used to be the first one there. Way before the makeup artists arrived, way before everyone, I used to be the first guy there with a watchman. Yeah, just checking in because I was so eager to serve, so eager to give. And then I used to work so much and give myself and kill myself and lie down and roll over. And I used to be the last person to leave. I used to be the guy who closes the door when everyone has left. I used to be the guy I used to go home when I'm completely spent, when I've spent every ounce of energy in my body. And I remember so many people used to wonder and tell me, Ben, hey, why do you work so hard and yet we pay you so little? Why do you give so much of yourself? And little did I know is that I was setting myself up for success. That as I was giving so much value as compared to what my clients paid me, then my clients completely adored and they loved me. And everyone who they met who was looking for a photographer was like, if you want a photographer, by the way, go to no one else but Ben. That I became so popular and so famous just because of the kind of value that I gave. That all of a sudden, I became a household name. That all of a sudden, competition was no longer a big issue for me, just because I focused on giving value, giving service. That's what the secret Jesus gave. That if you can just focus on service, focus on serving, focus on giving, focus on just being there, being available for your customers. What do you need? I'm here. Whatever time of the day I'm available. I don't close at 9. I have 24 hours. Just being available, just giving value. Then you never have to wonder about money or about success. That will follow you. Yeah. So guys, as we finish off about service, one of the key secrets about the ministry of Jesus. I want to speak to you guys about mastery. I can't leave here without speaking to you guys about mastery. So mastery, in Proverbs 22:29 says that, do you see a man skillful in his work? He will stand before kings. He will not stand before obscure men. And I want you guys to mark this verse. And I want you guys to look where the highlights are. The highlights are skillful. Do you see a man skillful in his work? He will stand before kings. Other versions say he will serve kings, and he will not serve men of ordinary stature. Yeah? He will not serve men of, and just imagine how much kings will pay. Kings will pay you whatever amount it is that you quote, just because of your skill. So how do you develop this level of mastery? So number one, how do you develop a level of mastery? Number one is through deep observation. Deep, not just observation, but you have to go deep. That means that study the people who are successful in your niche. Study them. Study what they're doing. Study how they do their things. Study how they think. Study about their strategy. Study them deeply. Study where they live. Not really stalking, but just study them. Don't just study them on top, but go deep. It's called deep observation. And if you can't, ask them for mentorship. Go and offer to work for free as you learn. Go offer, pay your bus fare, pay your lunch. Just go and learn. Another thing also, all the available time that you can get, spend it in research. Now we have the World Wide Web, which is an amazing tool that you can use to research. We have YouTube that you can watch videos. Go to all these Udemy or go all these online courses and be able to learn. Just go deep. Observe, but go deep. Observe, but go. That's the first step of mastery. Number two, the next step of mastery, once you observe and you learn, the next step is acquiring the skill, is skill acquisition. There's a saying that says, for you to become a master or an expert at anything, you have to spend at least 10,000 hours doing it. 10,000 work hours, 10,000 man hours. If you guys know, pilots are graded by how many, by their flight hours, by how many hours they spend in the air. And if you can think about it, each and every career is like that. That the more hours you spend doing something, then the better you become at it. The more time you spend doing it, not just reading about it, but actually getting your hands dirty, rolling up your sleeves and doing it. The more hours that you spend doing it, the better you become. That's why the 10,000 hours is there. That if you can just clock 10,000 hours, you can become an expert at anything. So do it all day, do it all night. And when you sleep, dream about it. Let your subconscious mind do the work for you. Dream about it, live it, breathe it, drink it. Let it be the thing that pulses within you. Do it. Do the work. Don't be afraid of doing it. Let me tell you something. After you clock the 10,000, which is about 5 years, after 5 years, you're going to arrive to the level of mastery. And lastly, the last level of becoming a master, whatever it is that you do, is this, is that you add your own uniqueness. Someone said that good artists don't copy. Good artists, they steal. The reason is because this, if you copy, you replicate. But if you steal, you take it and you make it your own. And that's the part of mastery that is called uniqueness. As you know, there's nothing new under the sun. There were other wedding photographers before me. There will be more after me. But what is different about being me is that I add my own uniqueness. That means put your own uniqueness, your own thing into it, your own vibe, your own personality, your own story. No one can copy you. They can copy what you do, but they can never copy you. That's you. That's the level of mastery. That once you master something so well, then you become unique. Think about what's that guy called? Salt Bay. Think about Salt Bay. Look at this. Look at the way he cuts his meat. Look at how he does his thing. He's in a level of mastery that he brings his own uniqueness to it. So for you to become great in this world, don't just be a master, but get your own touch into it. Once you become unique, then people are going to pay you whatever amount of money that you ask for it. Good? Let's move on because of time. The next step The next secret that I learned from the life of Jesus Christ is systemization. That's the second step. That's the second principle that I learned from the life of Jesus Christ. Systemization, about putting things into system. And before I begin about systemization, I want to break it down, and I want to explain to you the difference between a technician and an entrepreneur. A technician and an entrepreneur. Let's start by defining who a technician is. Yeah. So a technician is anyone who starts a business with a skill. Anyone. For example, I learned about photography, so I begin a photography business. Or I love to bake, so I begin a bakery. Or I love to draw, so I begin a drawing business. Or I love to cook, so I begin a restaurant. So anybody who has a skill, who begins a business, is a technician. Yeah, you understand? Anybody with a skill who begins a business is a technician. Technicians make this fatal assumption, which I also made, technicians, that if you understand the technical work, if I understand photography, if I understand baking, if I understand cooking, if I understand washing clothes, then I understand a business that does that technical work. Do you understand me? That if I understand how to take pictures, then I understand how to run a business that takes pictures. Fatal assumption, very fatal assumption. So you're a technician. You are a technician if your business depends on you. If your business depends on you, my friend, sorry to say, you're a technician. You don't own a business. You're a technician, and you own a job. People call it self-employed. I have employed myself. I am employed, but I've employed myself. And you know what? Can you find out about self-employment? Self-employment is the worst kind of job in the world. Why? Because you have the worst boss, the worst kind of boss. And this boss is your customer. So your customer doesn't care about you, the customer just cares about, when I began photography and I used to do shoots, after I do a shoot, I get home, the client is like, Ben, are my pictures ready? And I'm like, we're just from the shoot. I'm not even copy the video from the memory card. I'm just like, Ben, please send me the photos tomorrow. I'm like, don't you care that I have a life? Don't you care about me? And then from there, I have 3 or 4 or 5 other clients who are just like that client. When you're a technician who is self-employed, you have the worst job in the world because you have the worst boss. Forget about your boss at work. The customer is the worst. The customer is demanding, doesn't care, just wants their way, wants things done ASAP. That's the customer. If you're a technician, you're self-employed, you have the worst job in the world. Let's move on. Let's define now who an entrepreneur is. Yeah, you understand who an entrepreneur is, who I want us slowly to move into to become an entrepreneur. So an entrepreneur is the one who creates a system, systemization. The one who creates a system to produce a great product or a great service. Who builds a system. Think about it this way. So I'm a wedding photographer. So as a technician, I myself go and take the pictures, I edit them, I deliver them to the client as a technician. As an entrepreneur, as a business owner, I come up with a company that develops a system in which I train photographers to come take pictures. I train editors who edit the pictures, and then I have a customer service who will deliver the pictures to the client. Do you understand? So I'm not necessarily doing it. I've just built a system that delivers value to the customer. You understand? Next, an entrepreneur or a business owner, they remove themselves from the process of the creation of value. They remove themselves from the value creation process. That means I'm not involved myself. That means I don't bake by myself. That means I don't wash clothes myself. That means I don't do things myself. I have just created a process which I'm not part of, but is able to create value and deliver value to the customer. Lastly, an entrepreneur builds a system. This is like the icing on the cake. that an entrepreneur builds a system that allows ordinary people, me and you, ordinary people, to produce extraordinary results. You get me? That you build a system that allows ordinary people to deliver extraordinary results. Think about McDonald's. I know I've never been there, but I've read about it a lot. So what McDonald's did, McDonald's hires people straight from college, people straight from high school. What it does is that it has a system that they have built that when you get there, you go to, is it called Burger University or something? Burger University. And then you learn about the system of McDonald's, how they do things at McDonald's, how to make a burger, how to do how to deliver it to the client. They learn. And after learning, these guys go and they're employed. And when they're employed, McDonald's has a system whereby you just plug into the system. You just plug into the system, and then you're able to deliver value to the client. So even if you leave or if you resign, McDonald's will keep on going on, because McDonald's is not really about personalities, but it's about a system. And so my desire for all of us small business owners is that we're able to build a system that will deliver, that will use ordinary people that you can train them, bring them into your company, and then they can plug into your system and then deliver value to your customers. That's my desire for you after you finish this thing, okay? Next, one of the key things about systemization is recruitment. Recruitment is basically how you pick your people, how you pick people who are going to work for you. And as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, you're going to realize that picking people is one of the most difficult tasks that you'll ever undergo, because people are different. People are difficult and they're different to handle. That people have emotions. They're not like machines. You know, a machine will give you, if you give an input, it'll give you the same type of output. But people are different. And so when I studied about the life of Jesus Christ, I realized that Jesus Christ spent a lot of time in recruiting his disciples, the people who followed him. And there's some things that we can learn from them. Number one is that Jesus Christ was very careful, or Jesus Christ carefully recruited the people who would work with him. He was very careful about it. He did not do it randomly or without a plan. He was extremely careful about the people who he recruited. Good? Nice. Oh, so the things that Jesus picked out that I learned about, qualities that he looked for. You know the things you write for when you put out a job advert, qualifications. So in Jesus' qualifications, these are the things that he looked for. Not a Form 4 education, not master's degree, not experience. Jesus looked for people who are teachable, who are passionate, and who are open-minded. And if you can think about it this way, that in your company, you need people who you can come and train them again. People who are teachable, people who have a teachable spirit. That's why, for me, I realized in South Africa, when you employ people who have experience, 10 years, that they come and they tell you how to run your, they're like, you know what? How we do things, this is the way we do things. These are the way we do things. But you're like, no, I want you to come and learn the way we do things in our company. So one of the things that Jesus looked for, people who are teachable. That's why he did not go for the Pharisees, teachers of the law, because they're not teachable. They were the teachers of the law. They thought that they're already educated. So Jesus went to people who can be teachable. That means people who are humble, who are open to learning, people who are not full of themselves. Those are the best kind of employees. Number two, people who are passionate about what they do. People who can be able to sell with passion, who love their job. People who will be there sorting out a customer in the middle of the night. People who love, and in Canada, Jesus' disciples are very passionate about their job. Lastly, is open-mindedness. A lot of the employees are very close-minded. They're like, I can't think outside the box. Whatever I think about is just that. Just look for people who are open-minded, people who could be able to accept change. And if you can recruit people like this, then you'll run a successful business. Number two, Jesus did not focus on the masses. He didn't focus. If you can realize, Jesus taught the masses through parables. Most of them went home and they were like, what? What did he say? Did you understand? But Jesus focused on equipping the 12, on teaching them about the secrets of the kingdom, the key employees, his kitchen cabinet. Jesus focused on these people, on teaching them and equipping them. Here's something that I learned. When I read about biographies of people who ran big companies like Nike or McDonald's or Walmart, all these people had people who were around them, maybe 5, 10 people who were like their close associates. And these people who they began the company with are the people that the founder or the owner trained on a more close basis, are the guys who the owners hung out together during the weekend or visit each other's homes. They're the guys who the business owner focused on equipping, because at the end of the day, these are the people who you're going to leave the business to. And so for me, find your 12, find your cabinet, find your crew, find the guys who you'll impact and grow with. Find the guys who one day you won't be afraid to leave the business to. That's what Jesus did. Next, during recruitment, Jesus replaced himself in his own ministry by teaching the 12 everything that he knew and did. That's an amazing principle. Most of these people who run companies, whose companies don't survive beyond the founding founders, are those people who are very jealous or who are very protective about their knowledge. And so they kept everything close to their breast. Everything. They signed the checks, they ran the company. They never delegated. The people who were selfish because they thought that if I teach you, you will replace me. But Jesus was the exact opposite. Jesus came and he taught these 12 everything that he knew. Everything. His purpose was that all of you 12 can be able to replace me, can be able to replace me in this business. That's a key secret in recruitment. So once you get your 12, once you get the people who you can leave the business to, the next step is to teach them everything that you know. Download everything, spend time with them, spend nights with them, let them know about everything that you do. Yeah. Next, Jesus left the disciples something we call an operations manual. So every business needs a manual to operate, needs a way of doing things, a way that is documented, in a way that someone can come and pick it, read through, and they can understand your business in a nutshell. Or if you can hire an employee, you give them a copy of the manual, they will take the manual, they will read through, and they will learn how you do business there. So Jesus was the first one who came up with this idea of a manual. So how did he do it? In his teachings, in his prayers, in how he did things. He was very detailed and very specific in teaching the disciples on how to do things. And the interesting thing, if you read about the Gospels, the disciples, they mastered the life of Jesus. They had all these things written down and they remembered all these things, such that now Jesus was gone, they were able to replicate his ministry here on earth. Good. Next, Jesus sent them out in the field to test them. This one was when he was still alive, told them, go out into the field to test them and see if they have grasped whatever it is that he taught them. This is very, very important. So for your key employees, throw them into the deep end. Let them go out. Let them go and look for new business or serve customers. Throw them into the deep end and then sit back and watch. See how they're doing. How are they making decisions? How are they handling pressure? How are they serving the customers? Learn. Let them learn from the job. And then when they come back, correct them if they are gone wrong. Lastly, Jesus gave them the Great Commission. That means that he empowered them. He told them, now go. Now go and make a difference in the world. Now you know everything that I've taught you. Now go. Your lessons are not just for yourself. Your lessons are to expand, to grow, to take over the world. Jesus taught us about this. This is what I'm going to cover as the last lesson that Jesus taught us. and that is scaling. That is scaling, not scaling a fish, but scaling. Scaling means to grow, to expand, to take over the world. Something called the Great Commission. When Jesus said, "Go therefore and make disciples of all nations." That means go to every country, go to every nation, go to all the peoples of the world and spread this good news that I've taught you. Think about it like a company. Think about it like Uber. Uber began, I think, in the States or in New York. I can't remember where exactly in the States it began, but when Uber began, the purpose of the founder was to scale as fast as possible. He wanted Uber to be in every major city in the world, in every town, that everybody in the world to be able to use Uber. That's it. Your work is to go, therefore, into all the world. That means that you have to think big. You can't just think about having a shop in my corner, or you can't just think about having a shop in Kirinyaga Road. Oh, yeah, that's people's goals. Or just having one branch. Think about the nations. Think about someone in China using your product. Think about someone in a small town in Brazil using it. Think about it that way. Think about taking over the world. That's why Jesus Christ gave us such important lessons in business. Think about scaling. Think about the Great Commission, even in your own business. Okay? Let me give you guys about the law of income, a very important law. And I want you guys to remember this law when you're in business, because income is key, you know? Income is everything. Income is king. With income, you can make decisions. And the number one reasons why business closed down is income. Lack of income. There's no income. There's no money. There's no cash flow. Income is key. So the law of income is this. There's a law and says this: your income, your payout, your cash flow is determined by how many people you serve. Get it? How many? That means the number, how many people you serve. And finally, how well you serve them. Do you get me? Your income is determined by how many people you serve and how well you serve them. Think about M-Pesa. M-Pesa is the cash cow for Safaricom. But M-Pesa, why it's so successful is because they focused on impact, on numbers. I don't know how many people are on M-Pesa right now, but I'm sure they are north of 15 million. And they thought about serving many people. But the key, not just to serve them, but to serve them well. And if you want to make a lot of impact and income, is to focus on not just serving multitudes, but serve them well. Let's break down this law of income. Yeah, let's break it down. Let's break it down as we finish. So number one, if you combine value means M-Pesa, how it makes your customers' lives better. That is your value. Your value is how well you serve your customer. Value combined by impact. Impact means numbers. Impact means how many people you serve. Value plus impact is equal to success. You get me? Value scaled to serve many people, to serve great numbers is equal to success. Good. Number two, find a way. Find a way to touch as many lives as possible. Find a way to touch as many. Don't just think about, I want to become a photographer in my village. How many people are you serving there? Just people in your village. How many people can you serve yourself? Not very many. Yeah. Think about, how can I be able to have a photographer in every village? That's a business owner's thinking. How can I be able to have a photographer, a good photographer in every town? How can I be able to serve people cakes in every city? Think about touching the lives of as many people as possible, because you know you have great value. Your product is amazing. Find a way that it can be able to be available to the masses, just like Jesus did. Okay. Lastly, about the highlights from the income law is that everybody can be great. Everybody. It's not just for a few, the Elon Musks of this world, the Mark Zuckerbergs of this world, the Jeff Bezos of this world. No, everybody can be great because everybody can serve. That's the key. It must begin from service, from a mindset of serving humanity, not just getting money, but serving. And if you can have that mindset of service, then you will be great. Nothing can stop you. Because you know what? Because people who serve are not stopped by hurdles or difficulties or lack of income or lack of customers. They're just driven by service. I want to serve my customers. I want to give the very best service they can be. They're driven to serve. Think about Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos stayed for 18 years making losses. 18 years. Just imagine that. Will you stay in a business that 18 years? People even 18 days, they'll quit. Yeah. Jeff Bezos, 18 years making losses just because he was driven by this thing that I want to make it easier for people to shop. I want to deliver amazing products to every household at a remarkable price. That's what kept him, that's what kept him going for 18 years. All these guys who were driven were because they were driven by the desire to serve. So guys, if you want to be great, you have to serve. This guy, you guys know this guy? What's his name? What's this guy's name? Yeah, Robert Kiyosaki. Rich Dad, Poor Dad guy. So Robert Kiyosaki said this: if you want to be rich, that's all of us, right? If you want to be rich, simply find a way to serve more people. Imagine it's that simple. Simply find a way to serve more people. If you want to be rich, find a way to serve more people. Value plus impact is equal to success. The Great Commission, guys, find a way to serve more people. It's as simple as that. If you want to be rich, find a way to serve more people. Lastly, guys, this is the last thing. Then I'm sure guys need to go and prepare supper, guys. The last thing, the secret to disruption. If you think about disruption, think about Uber. Think about Airbnb. Think about businesses that completely changed the way we do things. They completely disrupted the way of life, the norm. They broke all ideas of running a business. That's disruption. Number one, if you want to disrupt the market, give the best quality you can give. The best in the market. That is called maximum value. Make sure that your product or service is the best in the market. That's why I talked about mastery, guys. Mastery. Master it. Become so good at it that you can become the Salt Bay. Yeah, become that guy. Become that guy who gives the best kind of quality. Don't just go for mediocre or for, they'll still buy. Go for the best kind of quality. Think about taxis before Uber. Think about it. Taxis were dirty, hardly ever washed. They were smelly. You couldn't choose your music, And then Uber came and they brought a new car, looking good. It's clean, it's washed. You can choose your music. You can rate your driver. You can order it at your own convenience. Just imagine. They give us so much quality that you are amazed. Guys, the number one secret to disruption is give the best quality you can give. Number two, give the most competitive price. Underline competitive. That means that your price compared to your competitors is the best. It's the most competitive. Think about, again, Uber. Sorry to overuse that example, Uber. Before Uber, when you hire a taxi, you are at the mercy of the taxi driver. They would overprice, underprice. Whatever they felt like doing, you're on their mercy. But now when Uber came, they gave you a fixed rate. that there was a fixed rate per kilometer. And even now, even better, it was the lowest ever in the market. Think about that way. Don't just give value, but give it at the most competitive price in the market. Interesting. Next, the fastest delivery. Fastest. Think about delivering your promise to the customer faster than all your competitors. Let me give you an example. When we began South Africa, the average time to deliver a wedding was 8 weeks. Finalized pictures and video, 8 weeks. That was the final time to deliver a wedding. When we got there, we decided, can we be able to deliver a wedding at half the time, in 4 weeks? Well, it was very hard. But then we were asking the right questions. The thing was, how can we be able to do it? So in your own industry, for example, it takes, if someone orders a cake, if you're a baker, they order a cake, and normally it takes 48 hours. Ask yourself, how can I be able to deliver a cake to my customers in 24 hours? Basically, how can I half the time of service delivery to my customers? Half the industry standard, half that time. Deliver it faster than anyone else in the industry at half the rate. And if you keep on asking, because you keep on finding ways in which you can improve the speed at which you deliver to your customer. Remember, we live in a microwave generation. Customers want their service delivered ASAP. No one wants to wait. Everyone wants to deliver. I want to be delivered as I wait. So find a way to deliver it faster than your competitors. Good. Lastly, this is the, what can I say? This is the goose that laid the golden egg. This is the cherry on top of the cake. This is your money maker. This is where good business become great. Customer service, customer experience. Think about the journey of a customer getting into your business until they leave. Think about giving them unmatched, unparalleled, unbeatable customer service. Jesus did that. Jesus lived, breathed, thought about his customers, who are you and me. They were the top of his mind. Everything he did was for his customers. Well, was for humanity. Guys, if you want to disrupt the industry, think about customer service. Think about your customer. Someone told me this. If you want to see a great business, go into that business. Spend a day there. And if all they're talking about is our customers, our customers, our customers, our customers, that's a great business. That they live, they think, they breathe their customers. One day, I was giving a talk at one of the Safaricom shops. And so when I went into their back end, where customers don't go, like their boardroom, I was meeting their staff. All around their boardroom were pictures, big life-size pictures of fishermen, mama mboga, boda riders, all over. When I asked them, why are these pictures? They're like, these are our customers. We want, when we come here, to be reminded who our customers were. I was like, that's why Safaricom is so great. Because they think, they breathe, they model their business to fit their customer. Guys, customer service is the key towards becoming a disruptor in your industry. Because if you can give your customers the best experience, then you have a winning business. At South Africa right now, this is our biggest hurdle. Here's what we're struggling with, because all our customers are like, all the customers who complain to me and to my partners, interestingly, they all complain about, Ben, you have an amazing product. But Ben, the service was terrible. Ben, you can change this in your service. Then I realized, our customers don't care about. We spend so much in our product, but our customers care about the experience. How did they feel? How did you make them feel? Did you make them feel as if they were important to you? Did you pick up their calls before the third ring? Did you speak to them kindly? Did you listen to them? Did you cater to their needs? That's what the customers, they don't care about your product or your service. This is the next frontier for businesses in Kenya and all over the world. That if you can focus on this, I read about Amazon. Amazon, every year, all their staff, from the cleaner to the CEO, all of their staff go for a mandatory, don't know how long, maybe a week's training about customer service. All of them, the cleaner, the canteen person, everyone in that company goes to study about how to serve their customers better. That's the secret. It's about the customers, not about you as a business owner. And if you can make your customers have an amazing experience, you have a winning business. That's it, guys. Thank you for logging in and for the time that we spent together. So just want to ask you guys, do you have any questions or comments that I can answer before we log out? Do you have any questions or comments that you can have that I can answer before we log out? Thank you guys for your time. Guys, for your time, you can just share them via the chat. Thank you so much, guys. Share them via the chat. Anything that you want me to answer before I go, before we log out for the night. Sorry for taking a bit of time, but hopefully for the next one, it will be better. So do you have any questions in the chat that I can answer before we log out for the day? Any question, guys? Good question. So Moses Karaoke is asking, how did you do market research for your studio locations? So interestingly, we didn't do much market research. So, well, we did. Well, our goal was for us to go to the high traffic malls. So we wanted to get into all the high traffic malls. So what we did is that there's a way you can get this information about the foot traffic in the malls. If you can talk to the mall owners, they can avail this information to you. And so our first branch was in an apartment because that's what we could afford then. And so our next branch, we opened Sarit because Sarit was the mall with the highest traffic. Has about, I think, 30,000 people go through the mall every day. And so that was a very big thing for us. So basically it's just malls. And so, but I think for you guys, if you want to do market research, I think look for the companies that you serve the same clientele. For example, if you're serving the low income, look at companies like Petan's Driving School. Look at where they are. Petan's targets really high-end areas, residential areas. If you're targeting a bit middle income, go look at supermarkets. Like Quickmart is a very good example to look into. Which location are Quickmart in? Because they've already done it, because you don't have the money to do big market research, but they have done it for you. So go look for areas like that. But basically look for companies that you target almost the same amount of the same target market, and then go into those locations. Hope I've answered the question clearly. Moses, thank you for your question. Anything else, guys? Thank you for the messages. I appreciate them very much. We'll have our next live on Saturday, but I will share the details, whereby we'll be speaking to one of the guys who owns a small business. They can give you the experience. Yeah, and then guys, if you have any guys who you like to come on the channel, you can let me know via my Instagram at Ben Kiruthi, and I can contact them and ask them if they can come on board. Yeah, yes. Yeah, so someone is asking about what books will you recommend for an entrepreneur to read? Number one book that I would recommend for everyone, all of you guys to go and get today, is a book called The E-Myth. The E-Myth Revisited. So The E-Myth Revisited is a book by, what's that guy's name? Give me a minute. E-Myth Revisited. E-Myth Revisited by Michael E. Garber. Michael E. Garber. So that's the guy who has written E-Myth Revisited. So I will share a link of the books that you guys will read, but in the beginning, go and get that book. E-Myth. E for egg, and then myth. E-Myth Revisited. That's an amazing book for every small business owner. Go and get that book by Michael E. Garber. It's available in all the stores. If you're in Kenya, Textbook Center has it. If you're not in Kenya, just go to Amazon. That book is everywhere. So E-Myth will completely change your game. Next, I would recommend you to read the Bible. Yeah, read the Bible. There are very many keys and principles there, especially from the life of Jesus Christ, which we'll cover in the weeks to come, God willing. Yeah. So how do you separate yourself from your business? If you're a business, IG, create content. I am a photographer, videographer, edit marketer, etc. So I think how to separate yourself from your business. I think I'll cover that in the next live session. So the process of moving from a technician to an entrepreneur, I think that's very difficult. But how do you move from the business being all about you to creating a system that is going to deliver value to your customers? So I think I'll cover that in the next live, whereby, because it's a bit lengthy, but I'll cover the process of going from a business, from a sole proprietor to become a business owner. So thank you for that, Chronicles of Asali. Lyra has asked, will you recommend getting a business advisor to handle the business side of creative work? Sometimes all you want to do is create. Sometimes all you want to do is to create. So for me, I'd like to advise you guys is that, Lyra, one of the things that I realized before getting into business is that I wish I'd spent more time studying about business as compared to studying about art. Because here's the thing that you realize, that a lot of very creative, very talented artists are broke. And for me, that changed my game set, especially when I began shooting a lot of Asian weddings and having a lot of Asian friends. They began to change my thinking about business. That a lot of us, let me say, Miros, Africans, we think about perfecting quality. It has to be the very best. I have to spend time. And then we don't think about distribution. We don't think about customer. We don't think about selling, marketing, all these things. Then we end up having a really great product with no market. So I think, Lyra, what I would recommend to do is that I prefer you as a business owner to get that acumen yourself, to learn it yourself, so that when you hire people, you will hire them, but you'll tell them what to do. Because something we realized, that me with my partners, is that when you hire lawyers or accountants or advisors to advise you about the business, they don't have it at heart. They're just giving you textbook knowledge. And some of it is going to mislead the business. So I think for me, I would prefer you as a business owner learn about business. Now you're a good photographer, you're a good baker, you're a good artist, but now learn about the aspect about converting your art into money, how to deliver value to your customer. And I think for me, that was the biggest lesson, me and Gadoni, was that we had to learn very painfully about how to be able to make money out of what we were gifted at. Yeah. So I think the purpose of this channel is that's why God led us to earth to open this channel, whereby we'll be able to teach, especially creatives, people in the creative business, because us, we are creatives, people in the creative business, how they can be able to move from just being a creative to become a business owner, which for me, I pray that all of us will be, because the purpose is this: to find a way to deliver your value to as many people as possible. That's what is called impact. Find a way to impact as many people as possible. Yes, guys, anything else before we shut it down? Thank you, Grace. Really enjoyed it too. Yeah, sorry for the issues that were there, but yeah, next time we'll do better, God willing. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Allow me to end the stream now. But thank you. You can always reach me on DM, on Instagram at Ben Kiruthi, or through my blog, benkiruthi.com. And we can talk more and more as we sharpen each other, as iron sharpens the other. I pray for the blessing of God upon you guys, and may God bless you in the work of your hands. May He increase you, and may He make you guys great. Yeah. Thank you, guys. God bless you.